Picture this. It's, I don't know, 2 in the morning. You're in the kitchen grabbing a midnight snack, and then disaster strikes. You knock over your favorite mug, and it shatters. But you know what? No problem. You grab the super glue, ready to be the hero of the hour.
So, you carefully fix the handle, feeling pretty proud of yourself, but then you notice the glue is now completely stuck to your fingers. And that's when the question hits you. Wait a minute. If this stuff is so powerful, why doesn't it just glue itself solid right there inside its own bottle? Okay, let's actually figure this out.
All right, so there are a couple of popular ideas floating around that try to explain this whole thing. And honestly, they sound pretty believable at first, but as we're about to see, they don't really hold up once you look at the science.
So the first and probably most common theory is that the bottle has to be made of some kind of slick, non-stick material, right? Kind of like a Teflon pan. But the truth is, it's the complete opposite. The bottle is usually just plain old plastic or maybe a thin metal tube, materials that glue actually loves to stick to.
Okay, so if it's not the bottle itself, what about theory number 2? Maybe the manufacturers put some sort of invisible, oily coating on the inside to keep the glue from sticking. Well, nope, that's a myth too. There are no secret coatings or slick layers. It would just be way too expensive and complicated. The real answer is so much simpler and, frankly, a lot cooler.
So here's the big secret. It has nothing to do with the bottle or some special ingredient. It's all about what the glue is being protected from. The hero, or maybe the villain of this story, is air. And to see why, let's start with your standard everyday white school glue.
White glue is basically just a bunch of super sticky polymer molecules floating around in water. You can think of the water as like a chaperone at a school dance. Its job is to keep all those sticky polymers separated in a liquid state so they can't grab onto each other and turn into a solid sticky mess.
So how does it all work? Well, as long as the glue is sealed up tight in the bottle, that water has absolutely nowhere to go. But the second you squeeze it out onto a surface, the air goes to work. The water evaporates, and when it leaves, those chaperones are gone. The polymers are left behind, and they instantly grab onto each other and whatever surface they're on, and bam, it's stuck. It really is that simple. No air, no stick.
Okay, so the secret is just getting rid of water. Easy enough, right? But hold on, because the world of glue has a huge plot twist. Super glue, that way more aggressive stuff, plays by a completely different and opposite set of rules.
Superglue is made from a chemical family called cyanoacrylates. And unlike white glue, which is full of water, superglue is packed as dry as possible inside its container. It literally has no water to lose. So how in the world does it get hard?
Okay, so let's do a quick recap. We know that for white glue to work, it has to lose water. The air comes along, pulls the water out through evaporation, and the glue hardens. Got it?
But superglue? It does the exact opposite. It actually needs to gain water to work. It's wild. Those cyanoacrylate chemicals are triggered by moisture. So the moment that glue leaves the tube, it reacts with the microscopic water vapor that's always in the air and on pretty much every surface, and that tiny bit of moisture kicks off a super fast chemical reaction that creates those incredibly strong solid bonds.
So air is the secret key in both cases. For white glue, the air takes water away. For superglue, it gives it a tiny bit of water. It's the same key, just turning the lock in opposite directions. Pretty cool, right? All right, now that we've got the science down, let's talk about the real-world problem that's bound to happen. You've glued your fingers together again. Hey, knowing how the glue works can also help us figure out how to get unstuck. For hard surfaces like a table or even on fabrics, a solvent like acetone, the stuff in nail polish remover, works really well to break down the glue. But, and listen, this is really important, for your skin, you want to stay away from harsh chemicals. Just use some warm water, a soft cloth, and be patient. And here's a critical safety warning. Never use strong solvents on your face or anywhere near your eyes. And if you have a real accident and glue an eyelid shut, do not panic and do not try to force it open. It will almost always open up on its own in a day or two as the natural oils from your skin do their job.
Okay, so to wrap this all up, let's end with a little thought experiment. Now that you know the secret role that air plays for both types of glue, what do you think would actually happen if you just took the cap off a brand new bottle and left it sitting there? Would the whole thing just turn into a solid brick of glue? Let me know what you think.